Once upon a time, in the heart of a cold, snowy winter, a beautiful queen sat by her window, sewing quietly. As she worked, she pricked her finger with the needle, and drops of bright red blood fell upon the white snow on her windowsill. Watching the red upon the white, she whispered softly, "I wish I had a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony wood." Not long after, her wish came true. The queen gave birth to a baby girl, perfect in every way, her skin pure white, her lips deep red, her hair dark as midnight. They named her Snow White, but happiness did not last, for the queen soon passed away, leaving the king and his newborn daughter alone in the cold castle. A year later, the king took a new wife, a woman as beautiful as she was, vain and cruel. She owned a magical mirror, and every day she would ask, "Mirror, who's the fairest of them all?" The mirror always answered, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all." And the queen was pleased. Years passed, and little Snow White grew into a lovely young girl. By the time she was only 7, her beauty shone brighter than the morning sun. One day, when the queen asked her mirror the same question, it replied, "You are fair, O queen. It's true, but Snow White is fairer than you." Rage filled the queen's heart, jealousy turned to hatred, and she could no longer stand the sight of the girl. In her fury, the wicked queen called for a huntsman. "You ache under Snow White into the forest," or she ordered coldly. "There are expectations you must meet. Kill her, and bring me her heart as proof." The huntsman obeyed, but when he looked into the girl's innocent eyes, his heart softened. "Run away, dear child," he said. "Run, and never return." To deceive the queen, he killed a wild boar, and brought its heart to her instead. Believing Snow White dead, the queen was satisfied. Meanwhile, Snow White wandered alone through the dark, frightening forest. The trees seemed alive, whispering and reaching for her. Just when her strength began to fade, she saw a small cottage hidden among the trees. Curious and exhausted, she stepped inside. Everything was tiny. 7 little chairs, 7 plates, and 7 beds. Sagri. She ate a little from each plate, drank from each cup, and soon fell asleep across 3 small beds. That night, the 7 dwarfs returned home from their work in the mountains. "Oh, someone's been sitting in my chair," cried one. "Someone's eaten from my plate," said another. Her face was so beautiful that their anger melted away. When Snow White awoke, she was frightened at first, but the dwarfs' kindness calmed her. She told them her story, and they offered her shelter in their cottage in exchange for helping around the house. She gladly agreed. Before they left for work each morning, they warned her, "Be careful, dear Snow White, don't open the door for anyone. Your stepmother will surely come for you, beg." At the castle, the queen stood before her mirror again. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And once again, the mirror replied, "Snow White, beyond the hills, with the 7 dwarfs, is fairer still." Furious, the queen disguised herself as an old peddler woman and went to the cottage. "Lovely laces for sale," she called sweetly. Trusting her, Snow White opened the door. The queen laced her bodice so tightly that Snow White fainted. When the dwarfs came home, they found her lying still. Quickly, they cut the laces and she breathed again. "That was your stepmother," they warned. "Never let anyone in." But the queen's envy knew no end. The next day, she disguised herself again, this time with a poisoned comb. When Snow White let her fix it in her hair, the girl collapsed once more. The dwarfs discovered the comb, removed it, and she was saved again. Furious that Snow White still lived, the queen prepared her deadliest weapon, a beautiful red and white poisoned apple. Disguised once more, she went to the cottage. "I cannot let anyone in," Snow White said nervously. "Then, I'll stay outside," said the old woman. "I'll cut it in half. You eat the red side, I'll eat the white." The moment Snow White bit the red side, she fell to the ground. This time, the dwarfs could not revive her. Believing her dead, they wept for 3 days. Then they built a coffin of glass and placed her inside upon the mountain, so they could always watch over her. When the queen asked her mirror again, it finally answered, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all." Stop them all. At last, she was satisfied. One day, a prince riding through the forest came upon the glass coffin. Inside lay the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. Reading the golden letters, "Snow White, daughter of a king," he felt tears in his eyes. "Please," he begged the dwarfs, "let me take her with me. I will honor her forever." As his servants carried the coffin away, they stumbled on a tree root. The coffin jolted, and a piece of the poisoned apple flew from Snow White's throat. Her eyes fluttered open. "Where am I?" she whispered. The prince smiled with joy. "You are safe, my love. Will you come with me and be my queen?" Snow White nodded, a heart full of happiness. Band wedding was held at the prince's castle, and everyone was invited, even the wicked queen. Before leaving, she asked her mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, "Who is the fairest one of all?" The mirror replied, "You, my queen, are fair. It's true, but the new queen is fairer than you." Shocked and trembling, the queen went to the wedding only to meet her doom. And from that day on, Snow White and her prince ruled their kingdom with kindness and joy. She never forgot the 7 dwarfs who had saved her life, and they remained her dearest friends forever. And so, they all lived happily ever after.